Doctor's visit. Reveals 93-year-old woman has been pregnant for 65 years. After 74 years by the side of her beloved husband Manuel, Estela Melendez had to endure the bitter pain of saying goodbye. Their small home on the Chilean coast, once filled with love, laughter, and the aroma of Manuel's freshly caught fish, was now consumed by an overwhelming silence. The empty rocking chair on the porch swayed gently in the wind, a haunting reminder of the past. She was alone, left with old photographs, yellowed letters, and a heart that still cried out for him. The days passed in an endless cycle of quiet solitude, but Estela could feel her strength fading. One morning, as she tried to rise from her rocking chair, a wave of dizziness overtook her. Her knees buckled and she collapsed hard onto the ground. A sharp pain shot through her hip, but worse than the pain was the fear, not of dying, but of becoming dependent on others. She lay motionless for hours until neighbors found her and called for a doctor. The nearest clinic was 40 miles away, a grueling journey for a woman whose body was already fragile with age. Upon arriving at the hospital, she was immediately examined. The doctors ordered an X-ray to ensure she hadn't suffered any fractures. But as they studied the results, their professional expressions shifted from routine concern to sheer disbelief. More doctors were called in. Murmured discussions filled the room. Estela could sense their unease, yet no one told her what was happening, until one of the physicians took a deep breath, turned to her and said, "Mrs. Melendez, you have been pregnant for 65 years." The words echoed in her mind, an impossible, incomprehensible thought. Her body froze, her breath caught in her throat. For decades, she had longed for a child, had prayed in silent nights to God, only to be told she would never be a mother. And now, her greatest wish had been within her all along, without her ever knowing. Tears welled up in her eyes as she struggled to comprehend the truth. Life had unveiled an unexpected, almost cruel secret, one that would change her forever. The doctor's words echoed through Estela's mind, but they made no sense. Pregnant for 65 years? Her gaze darted between the physicians, who were still staring in disbelief at the X-ray images. One of them cleared his throat and carefully explained, "At first we thought it was a tumor, but the structure is different. The tissues are calcified. Your body has preserved something that should not have survived." Estela felt her heartbeat quicken. Was that even possible? Had she carried an unborn child inside her all these years without ever knowing? The doctors conducted further tests, ultrasounds, blood work, but the results remained the same. Estela was not sick. She had been carrying a lithopedion, a stone baby. Decades ago, her body had begun a pregnancy, but the fetus had implanted outside the uterus and never developed further. Instead of being expelled, her body had gradually encased it, protecting, preserving, keeping it safe. There are only about 300 documented cases worldwide, one of the doctors explained in awe, but none as old as yours. Estela instinctively placed a hand on her stomach. 65 years. For 65 years, she had believed she was incapable of having children, only to now discover that the truth was far more complex. A bittersweet wave of emotion washed over her. She thought of all those years of longing, of sleepless nights spent aching for a child. She remembered the countless conversations with Manuel, the way he would smile at her and reassure her that their love was complete, even without a child. But now she knew. She had been a mother all along. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she met the astonished faces of the doctors. "It reminds me of my Manuel," she whispered softly. "He was always with me. And now I know our child was too." News of Estela's astonishing condition spread rapidly through the hospital corridors. Doctors, specialists, and scientists from around the world were captivated by this rare medical phenomenon. Lithopedion, a stone baby, was one of the most extraordinary occurrences in medicine. Normally, such cases were discovered within a few years, and the calcified fetus was surgically removed. But Estela had unknowingly carried her unborn child for an unbelievable 65 years. Her story became a medical sensation, and soon major news agencies began reporting on the elderly woman who had been living with a fossilized child inside her. Experts analyzed her X-ray images and debated intensely about the case. How was it possible that Estella's body had coexisted with the fetus for so long without causing severe health complications? Had she ever felt anything? Had her body ever sent signals that had been overlooked? Journalists flocked to her small hometown to speak with her, but Estella remained calm. "It is a part of me," she said simply. While the world speculated about the medical marvel, her thoughts remained with the child she had never met, and with Manuel, wondering how he would have reacted had they discovered the truth together. Despite international interest and countless inquiries, doctors decided against performing surgery. Estella's body was too fragile. An operation would be far too dangerous. It would do more harm than good, one specialist explained. So, the stone baby remained inside her, not as a threat, but as a silent companion. Estella accepted it with remarkable serenity. She had lived 93 years with this secret inside her, and now that she finally knew the truth, she felt an unexpected sense of peace. "It was always with me," she whispered, "and it will stay with me until the end." The world was astonished by Estella's story, but for her, only one thing had changed. She now knew that she had never truly been alone. The child she had believed she could never have had been with her all along. And now that the secret had been revealed, she no longer felt pain over it. On the contrary, it was a comfort. She imagined how Manuel would have smiled if he had known that they were, in a way, a family after all. Just not in the way anyone could have ever predicted. She often spoke to him in her thoughts, telling him that their child would always stay with her. It was a part of her, a silent testament to their love and hope. News of her story spread across the world. TV networks, newspapers, and online media shared her incredible journey. Millions of people were deeply moved by the elderly woman who had unknowingly carried an unborn child inside her for 65 years. "She is a miracle," some said. Others saw it as a tragic fate. But Estella was not influenced by any of these perspectives. She knew her life had been unique, filled with love and strength, and that was enough for her. She declined all interview invitations and asked the media to leave her in peace. She had no interest in being a sensation. She just wanted to go home. Back in La Boca, in her small house by the sea, Estella sat on the veranda, gazing at the setting sun. The salty breeze caressed her face, as if Manuel were still there. She knew her time would soon come, but her child, her memories, would remain. And when she saw Manuel again one day, she knew he would smile at her and say, "I always knew you were never alone." Sometimes, life writes the most incredible stories. Stories of pain, hope, and unexpected miracles. Estella Melendez spent decades living with a secret, unaware of it. Yet in the end, she found peace in knowing that her deepest wish, to be a mother, had been fulfilled in the most unexpected way. Do you believe that fate sometimes works in mysterious ways? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another incredible story. Thank you for watching, and remember, life is full of unexpected secrets.